Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to Homeschool Your Kids podcast. I'm Jay, and today is great because I have not one but two guests. Excited? Yes, I am. So, Mindy and Kendra, we'll let Mindy go first. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mindy Meller, and I'm a homeschool mom of 5 kids. And I grew up in California, and I love homeschooling. My kids didn't start out homeschooling; they started out public schooling. And over the course of the time, I just realized there's more. There's so much more, and homeschool is so beautiful. So I was able to, through inspiration, I feel like homeschool is an inspired task, or I don't want to say task, but mission, really. And so through that inspiration, I knew that it was time to homeschool my kids. And I was really worried. I was so worried about it because I'm not one that I didn't ever view myself as a homeschool mom, though I always honored and revered homeschool moms. I felt like they were so they it was all about sacrifice and everything they do for their families. But man, I didn't think that was me. But I found so much joy. Yeah, I just found so much joy in it, and I'm so grateful that I could find that joy in homeschooling. So that's who
Lovely.
I am.
I love that. Yes, homeschool mom of five. What's the ages?
Yes, so we're nearly done. So I have a 24-year-old, I have
Okay.
triplet 19-year-olds, and then I have a 17-year-old.
Did you say triplets?
I have triplets.
You pushed out three babies at one
No,
time.
thankfully. No, they were ripped and torn from me, which was far
Oh,
greater, I think. But
yes.
but yeah, but you know what? That honestly wasn't the hard part. Raising them. Oh,
Oh,
that was the
you
hard
know,
part.
doing everything through, like getting a dose of everything three at a time. I can just imagine. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, you're beautiful.
Uh, you're way too kind.
You're
I got my
beautiful.
can kicked.
I'm sure. I'm sure, rightfully
Yeah.
so. Like, how can you escape out of that with no bruises, no bumps? Like,
Oh
no,
no,
you
there's no,
it's a
we keep
journey.
skidding it off that 18-year-old. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful though. That is really beautiful. Kendra.
Hi, I'm Kendra Wright, and I am a homeschool mom also of 5. I don't know. And I'm from Utah.
And y'all are still smiling. That's the
You
thing.
know,
Like, look at these people. They're still smiling. They're okay. Like, they have
We live
hair
to tell.
still. Like, yes.
we're still smiling. It's been good. So yeah, I have 5. I live in Utah. My oldest is 20. She's out of the house now. And then I have so a girl and then 4 boys that are 17 to 10. And we're
Mm,
still in the thick of it of homeschooling. So
nice.
I
Nice. I
actually I
love that.
actually was homeschooled also. So that was
Oh, second
second
generation.
generation.
We don't get those often.
Yeah,
I'm
so my mom homeschooled me since I was born until ninth grade, and then I went to high school. So
mm, I have one that wants to experience high school. How was that for you? Was it a culture shock? What was it?
no, my mom was really good at socializing us. We had friends, and so going to school was I just it was fun. I had a good time. But I
Yeah.
haven't done that with my older kids have done a couple of classes at our high school, but for
Mhm.
the most part only homeschooled. So
I remember one homeschool student that I had that came. I had her seventh grade, and she came. She was so smart. Oh my gosh, so smart. And so mature. And that's what I meant by culture shock, because she was just like looking around, like, why are they acting like this?
It's
I
so
was just
true.
like, it was so different. But she
okay,
was she was a breath
maybe a
of
little
fresh
bit.
air. Okay, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I meant. Like she was a breath of fresh air. She really was. It was like a hope. She gave me hope.
Right.
But that's awesome. So what's your connection? You two connection.
So we both lived in the St. George area, and we joined a Commonwealth. Kendra was already there, actually. Kendra is seasoned, so I was able to learn from her. I came in new with kids from public school, so I
Mm,
didn't have that same experience. But we met over the course of being, part of United in Families and our Commonwealth. So that was really fun. And we didn't ever teach together. We weren't ever aligned to teach until we started teaching Wealthy and Rad. And that was really,
Nice.
really, really fun. Yeah.
Okay, so give us something about Wealthy and Rad.
So Wealthy and Rad, Kendra and I were having the same feelings, but we were separate. We didn't know. For me, I was looking at my kids. My husband was currently unemployed, and I was watching my kids. Our neighbors were so awesome. They would hire my kids to do all sorts of stuff and would keep them in, always having some cash coming in. But my kids would spend it the minute they got it.
Oh yeah.
And
Sounds about right.
yeah, it's so true. Yeah. And I think that's totally common. Just, yeah. So as we were trying to tighten our belts, and every dollar meant, was accounted for, watching my kids just throw money away. They're like 15 or coming up on 15 or 14, my triplets. And I was like, this cannot be, this is a no-go for me. And I laid in bed one night, and there were different programs that I was considering, but I wanted my kids to do something that was hands-on. I wanted them to feel the opening of the savings and checking accounts, of the investment accounts. I want them to feel what it costs to buy the groceries. I want them to feel what it is actually like to research colleges that they're really interested in. I wanted them to know about credit. I wanted to pay taxes. There were so many things I was like, get out of the way. Like, we're going to do this. And as I laid in bed, and that was my big concern. And I know Kendra, you also had that same concern, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And I remember Mindy, well, you can say as you laid in bed, finish the story, and then I can finish your story.
I love pure. There's those times in our life when we get the pure inspiration, and it totally is so exciting. And I laid in bed and I scribbled as fast as I could possibly scribble. And I had a pretty solid outline for what I wanted to teach. But then I was like, I need a co-teacher. Like, this is a big deal, and I need somebody who's amazing. And I had several opportunities to talk with Kendra and get to know her. Well, I was sitting in the hall with her one day at the Commonwealth, and she was talking about her husband, her family are entrepreneurs. And I could tell, like, money was everything for us because my husband was laid off. And so I had more of there's kind of a heavy weight, where she was like, I've learned the money comes in. Sometimes it comes in and good, and sometimes it doesn't. And she wasn't panicked. She didn't have that panic about it, like I was feeling, about my circumstance. And I remember noting to myself, I was like, she's good with her money. I just knew. I knew that because you can't have that circumstance where you have income, not as much, a big, little, that comes with planning and planning ahead and preparation. I knew she had to be good with her money. And I was like, when I decided, I was like, okay, who should I teach with? I knew it was supposed to be Kendra. I was like, it's Kendra. I need to teach with Kendra. So I called her up. I was like, Kendra, listen, I have this idea for a class I want to do, but it's awesome. They're doing this class. They're actually doing the assignments. They're going to go to the bank. They're going to open, at the end, they're going to have multiple accounts. They're going to have savings. They're going to have a tithing or donation account. They're going to have all of these physical things. And it will be an investment for their parents, for them to take this class, because as a class to do the assignments, they'll get paid. The kids will get paid. And then that money that they get paid actually helps them fulfill their assignments. And we're going to read classic books and, all these things. And then Kendra comes in, and Kendra is brilliant. And she's like, okay, we could do this. And what about this? And we can do this. And here I was thinking about this. And I was like, yeah. And she was totally the perfect person. Perfect person.
Balance.
And
yes.
so, yeah, so we were able to totally connect in that way.
So I
Nice.
had definitely had my own years of trial, just so Mindy knows that, but I had my own years of like suffering with finances, and I had gotten to that point. We met at a good time, but I had gotten to that point where I was feeling more just like it comes and it goes, and we just have to keep going. And it was interesting that year they had asked me to teach so our Commonwealth just meets once a week. It's like a co-op, but we meet once a week and the parents teach the classes. They had asked me to teach like 3 different classes and I didn't feel good about teaching any of them. I love history, I love science, but I wasn't passionate about it. And so when Mindy called me and said, "Hey, do you want to create this with me over the summer?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I love that. I love finance." I had taken family finance classes in college and I loved it. So I was totally on board and it was amazing. We got together a couple of times that summer, well, more than a couple of times that summer, and it just came. And then we taught it that next school year and the kids loved it. And I have since been teaching it still at our Commonwealth. And it's one of the favorite classes at our Commonwealth. So
So
Nice.
the
That's
classes now that are
beautiful.
being taught are on repeat, and they've been taught several times now. And the wait list is it's full. The class is full, and there's always a wait list. It's a class that parents get. They're like, yes, my kids have got to have this before they graduate. They
Yeah.
have to have this information, and it's in a fun, engaging way.
Okay, so I know you teach it at the Commonwealth, Kendra. Is it online? It's available online for people to access?
yes, so it's available. This last summer we created an independent study course, which has been awesome. We were super excited because we know not everybody goes to co-ops and can take it this way. And so we created an independent study course that is pretty much exactly the same. You get on, you go through the lecture, which is all provided, and then there's a book list that you're supposed to read um, throughout the course, and it's just as fun, I think. I mean, it's more fun maybe if you're taking a class with a bunch of kids, but it's all of the same elements are there in the independent study course.
It's
Nice. What's the
designed to be
ages? Mhm.
engaging. Oh, sorry. It's
No, I
yeah.
was just asking ages.
Oh, for high school, it's recommended that you're a teenager. So 14 to 18 is the best one for that. We do have a one that we released this summer. So last summer we released Independent Study, and this summer we released the Family, Wealthy and Rad for family and groups, and it's for kids aged like 5, 6 to about 12. So that kind of so families that have multiple kids, this is such a great introduction, such fun activities. It's not heavy, but it totally talks about how to make money, setting up lemonade stands, opening up savings and checkings accounts, envelope stuffing. I mean, it is fun. It is really fun for families, an excellent introduction to finances. And then if a family is able to continue with that and they take Wealthy and Rad, their kids too, they're set. Like they've had repeat information, they've been able to touch on it, and they're so set for financial life. Not that there's not more they could learn, but they've got a solid foundation.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. That's important. Like this. Oh, most of I feel America's stress comes from finances. So
Truth.
that is something that we definitely need to tackle. And like you said, my girls, I have 6 and 9-year-old, and that's the first thing, like they get anything in their hands. They're like, hey, take us to the Dollar Tree. Hey, take us here. Like, that's the first
Yeah.
thing. And I'm just like, okay, so recently I bought a money book and we started sitting down, like just talking about money in general, like currency, different like what's an investment, like because they're 6 and 9, so we're going over
Smart.
the basics right now. We play
Perfect.
Monopoly Junior, not the the big time yet. I can't wait till they get there though, because I'm a pro. But but this is all very, very important, because finances is the root of all. Like, it really determines a lot. And so going into and you talk to, people who have graduated or people who have even gone to college, and they tell you something that they weren't taught. And it's about finances. I'm
Always.
still learning about finances. I'm pushing 40. And so
Yeah.
very much needed. Very much needed.
Yeah, that's so smart what you're doing with your kids. You're totally setting them up. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a work in progress. Because like
Oh,
I said, I'm learning with them too. So I can't wait to check out Wealthy and Rad.
yeah.
So I know you said it's more hands-on, so you give them tasks that they actually have to go and complete in the real world, like
That's
not
correct.
virtually or not, pretending mock or anything. So
That's
that's why it's
correct.
really greatly set up for high school age or, teenage
It is.
age. Because my 9-year-old's actually asked me about a bank account already.
Oh yeah. Oh, get her one. It's the
Get
best.
her
And they're
one.
so stinking cute when they use their debit card at the dollar store. It's like, I don't know why. Because I love finances, when they use that, they're just empowered. So using that power, now they have a new skill. And then with some ability to understand how it works, it's just, I just love it. So fun.
Right. Yeah. Right now they're just piggy banking it. So
Which is
Which
that
is perfect too.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Thank y'all. You are giving me some encouragement. I'm doing something. I am.
Good.
So the co-op only meets once a week, right? And that's the time that you teach the Wealthy and Rad?
Yes. So it's about an hour and a half class at our co-op once a week.
Okay. So
And
what are your days like outside of the co-op?
Kendra.
Whoever, whoever
Kendra's
wants.
more deeper in the
so
homeschool.
out like just as a homeschooling mom
Yeah,
outside of
as
the
a homeschool
co-op,
mom. Mhm.
we've got 4 days a week that we do our own curriculum. We get out and play a lot, go to parks, go to sporting events, read lots of books, do some math. We love
Some
games.
math.
We love you mentioned Monopoly. When our family loves games, and there's a
We're
lot
gamers.
a lot of awesome finance games. And actually in Wealthy and Rad Jr., we have a huge list of ones that we recommend, and then actually some fun games that we've created for
Nice.
the curriculum. So
Have y'all done cash flow? Have y'all played cash flow?
yes. So one of our games that we play with the Wealthy and Rad, the older high school one, is cash flow for kids. Cash flow, the regular cash flow is a lot longer, so we don't have enough time to play it in class. But we totally recommend that game. It's a great game.
I
So
have that.
Oh,
Someone sent it to me. I haven't opened it yet. We're actually planning on opening it this week. But I didn't
I
know if it
love
was
it.
going to be too advanced for them.
is it the cash flow for kids or
No,
just
it's the regular one.
How old is your
they could
oldest?
watch you play it. I think it's a little hard for under 12.
Really? Okay.
Give it a
Hey,
try.
you could give it a try.
Yeah.
I learned about games. I used to think my kids, I wouldn't introduce them to games of strategy until they were older, like 12, 13. And then I went to my sister's house and her kids, her 5-year-old was playing every single game of strategy they pulled out. And there were some that are really intensive. Like it took me some time,
Mhm.
several rounds to play it. And that kid, and I was like, I kind of just threw off all the boundaries. It was like, hold up. These kids can totally do this. Like these 5-year-olds can totally do it. If their heart's in it, if they want to, they can play these games. So you never know. Your kids might really love it. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of math, so you'll probably be assisting with that. But that's great. I mean, no math lesson
Nice.
for the day.
Right. Oh yeah, no, that we play, I told you we play a lot of games. Like we have bingo, sequence,
So
have you
fun.
ever played Play 9?
No,
Mm-mm.
No, it's like a
is it good?
golf game. It's cards, it's math.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're
It's
talking about. Yeah,
yes,
that is a
that
fun
one's
game.
fun. That's one of our faves. But game is that's why I just had to put that in. Like I love games. We love games. My 6-year-old loves games.
Oh,
So
the best. I
And I
think
think I think they could totally watch you play a round of cash flow for kids or cash flow, the regular one, and they would get it
okay.
eventually. Yeah.
Cool,
yeah.
cool. What is your day looking like, Mindy?
So my last daughter, when she became a freshman, she decided, well, kind of what happened is I felt the mantle lift off of me. Like it was my last. And every year, that February, I feel like February is the worst month of the year for homeschooling. It's so hard. It's so cold. It's so dreary. And you have several months left and it's like the thick of it. Every February, I'd come back to God. Do I need to homeschool again? Like, am I supposed to homeschool for the next year? And the answer is always yes. Okay.
Yes.
And then you go, okay, oh, we're going to learn this. And, you get your re-inspiration. Always happens for me in February. So the February before my youngest was going to go into high school, I was like, oh, am I supposed to do this again? And the mantle totally lifted off my shoulders. And I was like, I don't have to homeschool. I don't have to homeschool. Like that, you know what I mean? Because that's a weighty piece. We all know as homeschool moms, that is you take on a big weight. So then I presented it to my kids. I was like, listen, the mantle has been lifted. You can choose what you want to do at this point. And I feel like you're going to be okay. And everything's going to be okay. My triplets continue to homeschool. And my youngest was like, I really, really want to go to high school. So she's been going to high school. So I haven't actually homeschooled for about 3 years.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So my day looks like Wealthy and Rad. Advertising.
Nice. Just adding to and advertising. Yes, that
Yeah.
takes a lot. So I have conversations all the time. I actually just had a real nice one in the mall with a guy who that, and I don't want to be redundant with this because socialization is socialization, but I was literally having this conversation before we started recording too. Everyone is still so concerned about this socializing thing.
I feel like they need to go read some studies. That was one of the things when I decided to homeschool. I was like, okay, what is this all about? Is this really going to be bad news? No, every study comes back that there's no issues whatsoever with socialization. It's false, false, false. And so when people say, I'm like, oh, if you do the research, you'll find that actually there's not an issue. None. Weird kids come from weird parents. And that's just simply how it is. Doesn't matter if you homeschool or public school.
I like that. Yes, indeed. So you, Kendra, you started from the beginning to the end. You homeschool from the rooter to the tutor.
Yeah.
Yep. I planned on homeschooling, and then when my daughter was kindergarten age, I kind of freaked out, and we lived across the street from the elementary school, and I was like, she's going to kindergarten while I figure this out. So she went to kindergarten. She had already learned to read, so she was just over there having fun. And I figured that out. I figured out how I wanted to homeschool, kind of. I mean, I've changed it a lot, and then brought her home. And then when she was in second grade, my son remembered that she got to go to kindergarten. So he begged to go to kindergarten too. Really? So since we lived close to the school, he went, and I was just home with her. And then we haven't ever gone back after that. So
he was the last one.
He was the last one. And I mean, my kids take one class at the high school, ceramics or a choir class or something that I can't necessarily provide. And we're able to do that here in Utah, which is super nice to be able to just pick and choose. So
that is awesome. So the high schools or public schools in general just let you a la carte it?
Yep.
They do.
They do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good partnership. That's support.
It is. It has been really nice.
Nice. I love that. I love that for y'all. I've never been to Utah. It's on my list. Of course, we do a lot of I know it's really beautiful up north in general. And then on the west, it's game changer. Yeah. Look, yeah. So we're gonna have to figure out maybe some expo dates in the future to make our way up there. But I'm so happy that they are able to accommodate you all like that. Do you have a Y up there?
Do we have a
YMCA? I know I'm abbreviating things. A YMCA. Speaking of a la carte,
we probably do.
Just no, not.
I'm a little more rural, so I don't where I'm at.
And same with me, we don't where I'm at.
Yeah, you're a little more on that side as well. Yeah, so I'm sure there probably is in the big cities like Salt Lake and stuff, but we're kind of on the rural area. So
gotcha. The co-op that you all are a part of, that was already started. Y'all didn't start that, did you?
No,
I didn't. Mm-mm.
How many families are involved?
There are 30.
30
families.
So it's what?
And y'all meet once a week.
Once a week.
And it's like, man, if you're in an apocalypse, those are the moms you want to be with.
Right? Because they know everything. They're survivalists. Like, know how to make bread from scratch, know how to can things.
Right.
Oh, I can imagine. I already know. I love it. I'm building up my team myself. I'm gonna add y'all to it.
Good.
Do you have a group?
No, I actually do not. We travel so much. We do not. We're headed to New York and we're gonna homeschool with a family there. We were invited to, partake in things there, but like we're in Virginia right now. We're based in Arizona. So we're on the move a lot. So we don't have necessarily a unit, I guess. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we have
What a
people.
fun lifestyle though.
I think it
Thank
sounds
you.
fun. I'd do it while my kids are young.
Yes, yes. We're hoping to implement our RV early next year, and then that will really make for everything.
Oh
So fun.
gosh,
Oh,
the
thank you.
education that you could give your kids, all the places you can go.
Oh yeah, we went in the car this summer. We went to probably at least 10 states this summer. We even hung out in Iowa for a week, and that was really cool. Went to Milwaukee, Minnesota, things of that nature. So we're making our way to y'all. We're going to come that way. We
Yeah,
are.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, there's lots to
Gotta
see.
come.
Yes, yes. So, what is your favorite thing about homeschooling?
Go ahead, Kendra.
I like my kids. I like being around them.
Right.
I like being able to teach what we want to and to bring God into our homeschool. Um, I like being able, like you travel. I love traveling, and I love being able to leave whenever we want to and not have to worry about a schedule or my kids missing
Mhm.
classes. So yeah, I guess that wasn't just one thing, but I
Oh
love
no, that's fine. Yes, yes, yes. There's
My
plenty
very
to love.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, there's lots to love about. My very favorite thing would probably be I love it, the read-alongs that I would do every morning in that time, like kind of the devotional time with the kids in the morning. My favorite time of the day, every time.
That's
That
beautiful.
that gathering time is the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and with you being a second generation homeschool, Kendra, before you had kids, was homeschooling just already like you? Because I know you said when she got to kindergarten, it was like, oh, maybe not. But prior to, it was just like you had a good experience.
I
You
did.
you
I
wanted
love
to continue.
Yeah,
Okay.
I loved homeschooling. My mom did a really good job. She was a single mom for probably 4 years, and she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to continue homeschooling. Thankfully, she did. There was 5 of us also, and she homeschooled all of us just to high school. So once we got
Okay.
into 10th grade, we all went full-time high school. But we homeschooled with my aunt, who had 7 kids.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
and we didn't do it every day together, but every Friday we got together for field trips, and it was fun, super fun, great. People always would come to my mom and say, "Your kids are social. They're not weirdos." And she'd be like,
Thank
"Well,
you.
that's because they're involved. We do things. We get out." And
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing.
yeah, well, we knew how to talk to adults, and we knew how to be around other kids that weren't our same age. And people were
Yes.
shocked by that we could talk to adults and that we could be social with kids of all ages. And
Yes.
that was important to my mom. So, but yeah, she
Indeed.
was definitely a pioneer homeschooler starting out. People looking at her like, "Are you crazy?"
I was gonna say, what do you know what inspired her to homeschool?
So my sister was struggling. My oldest sister was struggling in
Mm,
elementary school. Just probably, boredom, and
mhm.
um, she kept getting in trouble. And so my mom just was like, "We're done. We're just going to bring her home." And she never looked back. She loved it. Um, and that was back in the days where there really wasn't a lot of curriculum. So she created a
Mhm.
lot of curriculum with my aunt, and they would decide what to teach that week, and then they'd go home and teach it, and then we'd get together on Fridays and do a celebration for what we learned that week. And
Aw,
anyway, so yeah, she was
that's
amazing. Amazing to
yeah,
be able to do
no,
that.
that is, and I love that you put out there that it was because of the issues your sister was having in school, and because I talk to a lot of families, and they're always like, I was talking to a dad who has a 10-year-old, and he was talking about the 10-year-old getting in trouble and having issues. And it's like, you always hear it in their voice. They want to do something different, but it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can, it's like, oh, well, let me keep talking to you. Like, me, let me keep talking to you so I get a little more encouragement. Because I'm going to tell anyone, you can do it. Like, you can do it. You really can. And you have all the reasons to do it, especially when you know that the school isn't serving your child in the manner that it needs to be served in. So,
yeah. And I feel like the poor teachers, their hands are so tied on what they're able to do. And so many of those kids get swept, under the door. And I think, oh, that's too bad. The homeschooling is gathering. It just is a family gathering. It just can scoop all that up. I love homeschooling.
It really can. I know it's beautiful. And I don't like that it's seen as a privilege. I don't really feel like it's a privilege. I feel like it's something
Sacrifice.
that, yeah, like it's a need versus want type of deal to me. Like your kids aren't really something to just gamble with. And I feel like when you're sending them away or not, necessarily equipping them, because when I talk about homeschooling your kids, I talk about it regardless of the place setting, regardless of if they're in public school, regardless of if they're any kind of school. You should be homeschooling your kids. They need you. They need you to talk to them. They need you to guide them. They need you to care and to show support at all times. And so that homeschool aspect has to always be present, And so to hear families talk about, the issues that they're having in school and just feel like it's something that's out of reach as far as homeschooling goes, it saddens me. It makes me sad. But I just keep talking. Like, oh no, I'm telling you, you can do it. Look, call me if you need help. Call me, please.
I'll walk you through it.
Yes. What do y'all feel about micro schools?
I don't know much about them, but I did read up on an article and I was kind of like, wow, these are pretty cool, but I don't have any hands-on experience.
Okay.
Same with me. I haven't really looked into it.
They're not big in Utah. Okay. Yeah, they're big in Arizona, excuse me, in Florida. I think Maryland has a good, Georgia, definitely. But they're just smaller class settings. Like it could be a school of 10 kids. It doesn't, that's still a school and it's considered a micro school. And I love that because I feel like that will solve a lot of issues for those who don't necessarily want to do it all on their own, but know that their children need something that is going to help to be able to, have the focus more on them as opposed to a whole classroom full of 25 plus kids. You can go and be in a classroom structure where you have 5 classmates. I think that's really dope.
My daughter in California had 39 kids in her kindergarten class. And I remember thinking, how are they ever supposed to learn as
that should be illegal.
Yeah.
Did she have another teacher?
She had mom helpers.
But not another teacher?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall if she did. I just know she highly encouraged and she would be stressed out. I knew she was very stressed out. I felt bad for her. Oh, teachers shouldn't be put in that situation.
They really shouldn't. That's wild. Yeah, no, I know. Kindergarten? I'm kind of stuck there because that doesn't even sound safe. Like that doesn't sound safe or anything. Can you imagine?
And then how do you even get around to teaching any kind of math or English concepts or handwriting? You're just wrangling. Oh
yeah, classroom management has to be like bar none. Like it has to be the top of everything. Right. I don't know. That's wild to even think about that. How? No,
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no. I spoke and I've talked about this before because my 9-year-old went to kindergarten. She went to kindergarten in 1st grade. And when she was in kindergarten, of course, I went to open house and I talked to the teacher. And the teacher was telling me how, last year she had about 22 kids on her roster, but 9 of them had never held a pencil before.
Really?
So I know I had to that was my little dramatic pause when I said that. None of them. But yeah, no, none of them had never held a pencil before. She was the one teacher in the classroom. So I was just like, okay, well, what do you start with that? Like, if you have a classroom full of 22 kids and you have 9 who have, never sat down with any kind of like learning task or anything as far as writing or anything of that nature, maybe not even knowing how to spell their name or whatever level they're starting on. It's so many different levels that they're starting on that you don't really get to touch on because there's only one of you. That was when I found out that kindergarten teachers didn't have 2 teachers in the classroom anymore. I thought that was just still mandatory. I don't know, but I learned something. Then it definitely should be, because that's a pivotal age, 5 years old, and then just getting into the school system, especially if they didn't go to preschool or anything. That's a lot to take in. Do you all see yourselves creating Wealthy and Rad for younger ages? Like
under 5?
Yeah, not even under 5. Under I would say like under 10, under 8.
Oh, the Wealthy and Rad Jr.
It is for that? Okay.
It is for that age, and it is fun for that age. I mean, they're doing origami money, they're doing cash envelope. I mean, truly, they do a lot of fun activities that's laid out for parents or for groups. Like if other people want to teach it to a group, they can, they can say, okay, we're going to teach Wealthy and Rad, and it's like 13 lessons, 14 lessons, and easy intro, great, solid intro to money management for that age. Fun.
Nice. Because it's never too early, right?
No, it's never too early. In fact, I think our delay is kind of a hindrance to our progress.
Right. Like you said about the 5-year, your 5-year-old nephew, right? Knowing and participating in all the advanced games that you thought was out of reach for that age group. It is like, we sometimes limit our kids thinking like, oh, they're too young for that, or they're not worried about that, or they like, will they understand that? It's just like, well, just try. Just try and see what all they take in, because they surprise you each and every time. Like, they're little geniuses, all of them. So it's pretty cool. Did all of your kids go through the Wealthy and Rad program?
My triplets did. My oldest daughter was already through it. Although earlier this summer, I sent out a copy to all of my kids and said, why don't you refresh? Let's all do a nice little refresh. And my son just told me yesterday, I'm gonna take that class again, Mom. I'm like, awesome. Do it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So just a reminder. I mean, it's kind of like a constant. Even when I go back and read our recommended books, I'm always like, it's just motivating and inspiring. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I can't wait to try this. And yeah, it's just, those are just fun classes. We had one of the classes that we do in Wealthy and Rad is that the kids have to, it's called Double Your Money, and it's kind of like a 4-class series where we work on it, and they make a business plan, they look for needs, they create, they make a schedule, how they're going to do it, and then they actually have to go and make the money. And they have, what do they have, Kendra, to start their business?
They have about $16 to start a business.
Yeah, they have $16 to start a business, and they get to choose. There's some rules around it, like you can't hit up grandma and grandpa and mow their lawn one time and make double your money. There's some certain rules around it so that they can actually do something that's legit, right?
But stretches them a little bit more.
Yeah. So at the end, they present in class. They tell us what they planned, how they went about it, what they chose, and then they talk about how they marketed it and how they talked about how much money they made. So we have seen some kids do amazing things. Like we had a girl do, Kendra's seen a lot more because she's taught it a lot more, but she did bath bombs, this one girl, and she actually used some of her own money to put with it, but then she doubled the entire amount. So I think she's put in like 60, and then she made over 120 on her investment. She invested that and then made it back. We had kids that took pictures. They were artistically, astute, and they took beautiful pictures when they traveled. Their family had traveled, and so she found a website she could upload all those pictures and sell them. And so she was able to make money off of her photos. She had a bunch of Holland pictures. We had kids who there were bake sales, of course, and things. But what else have you seen, Kendra?
Oh, lots of stuff. We have had kids start like a lawn mowing business. My kids painted addresses on curbs. So, you know, the
Wow.
house number on the curbs, which was right about that price. They paid the $16 for the stencils and the paint, and then they just had to knock doors, and they made well over double their money.
That's
Just
awesome.
painting that. We had a kid, very creative. He was 16 and he didn't want to sit outside selling cookies to like as a bake sale, but he hired his siblings to do it. So he made all the stuff.
With the 16, with the $16, he was able to get employees.
Well, I think he made enough money by baking all the stuff that he was able to pay them. I mean, he made over $100 that year, so he totally doubled his money. And they sat outside, cute little, 6 and 8 year old, and he just brought them the supplies and they sold it and he paid them. So that was fun. Car washes, cleaning people's garbage cans. We've had kids do a bunch of different stuff. So
that is so inspiring. Yes, that's really inspiring. I'm gonna have to play back this for my girls because my 9-year-old's always trying to think of ways to make money. She's just like, it's not coming in fast enough. I need to make my own. I'm just like, well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
When my kids were little, I really loved commerce. I really love commerce for kids. And that's one of the things I really taught my kids is like, when they were little, you want money. Okay, let's figure out how you can make some money. So my oldest daughter, she sat with me and we worked together and she made bookmarks. And so we took those around. We had a really, really kind neighborhood that was wonderful. And they would buy those. So that was her first, like, wait a minute, I can make money from what I produce. And that did lead to a mishap one time. We had made cheese balls for some of our neighbors and I had sent her out with her cousin to go drop them off, like, go give these to the neighbors. And they were selling them with money. Yeah. And I was like, oh, anyway, like I said, our neighbors were really kind. Same neighbors. Also bought cheese balls from us. So
oh, that's so important because mine, like, we talk about the creating, like I've bought her bracelet kits. They do arts and craft, of course, and they'll be talking about a drawing that they plan on selling or things of that nature, but never really act on it. We've gone to events because I do these glow up boxes. So we went to a couple of events selling those and things of that nature. So they're not strangers too. And I tell people all the time, this is she's my promotion, my 9-year-old. Do you have a card? They're going to homeschool their kids. Like, my friend's going to, like, this is at the park. Do you have a card? Because my friend's mom is going to homeschool her. And I'm like, did she talk to her mom about that? They're just so adamant. Like, but she, like, when we're at the grocery store, are you hard? How old do you have to be to work here? Like, she's always like, her wheels are always turning like, I'm going to make some money. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to make some. But I love all of the ideas that you all have presented so far. That's really inspiring as far as, a young person trying to have their own, as opposed to having to wait for the adult in their life to give them some. Because I tell my kids all the time, they don't do anything like to make money. Like, they be charging me and it's for life things. Like, you have to put on clothes. Like, what do you mean? Like, I put my clothes on today. I picked them up off the floor. Like, I shouldn't do that. Right. I'm not paying you for that.
I'm not paying you to do that.
Yes.
I was going to tell you some of our community, our homeschool community here in St. George is big, and they'll do entrepreneurship fairs for kids, and they'll be
nice. I've seen those,
and that's been really fun. My sister's kids, they sell these survival bracelets that are made out of paracord that have whistles on them, and they make them, and then they've done really, really well selling those at parks at the fairs.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I just love that. It's just like, limitless possibilities. Is always there. Like our little people, they just have so much inside of them that just has to be encouraged to come out. And so that's really, really awesome. I love what you all are doing. Where do you see the future? Like what do y'all want to get Wealthy and Rad to?
I want every homeschool group that does high schools, every one of them to teach Wealthy and Rad. It is so needed for these kids before they graduate. They need to take these courses. Yeah. And if it's not our course, which we highly recommend, any financial course is going to be a benefit and an asset for sure. Yeah. But we love ours because it is hands-on and they get to actually do things. But it's fun and it's fun. And it's immersive. Nice. I mean, we play music. We're wearing t-shirts. It's like, come in. You're going to be wealthy and rad. Woo!
Yes, I love the name. I love the logo. I know I saw the merchandise that you all have with the little chains and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fun. Thank you. Yeah, it is fun. It is really fun. Have you ever thought about like partnering with any schools to provide like those courses like that to them?
Kendra, yeah, Kendra.
I'm just throwing it out there.
What do you think, Kendra?
Well, we've talked about it. We haven't figured that out yet.
No, okay.
Yes, it's been a thought to talk to the schools and get it in their system. So
yeah, because they deserve it too. Like all kids deserve, like you said, it's something that everyone needs. Financial literacy is important. It's
this last summer
changing.
This last summer, my cousin was talking and she was saying she just bought a house. She's married now and has a kid, and they just bought a house, and she was so confused through the whole process, knew nothing about how to buy a house. And that's kind of when independent study that came to us, because I was like, okay, we're teaching it to these homeschoolers, but everybody needs this. Anybody can use this independent study course. It can be a summer curriculum for any teenager. And we do a whole 2 units on home buying and the whole process of it. And so, had she learned that in high school and, or even in college, like college students could take this if they wanted to. And had she learned that, she wouldn't have been so confused through the process of buying her home.
Indeed. Like
buying a car, all that stuff.
I remember getting my first salary job. And I was like, what is this? Like when I got my check, it's like, what am I looking at? Like all these deductions and things going to, 401 and just all this stuff. Like there was so many deductions that I had to call the individual that had done my taxes since I was like 18 and ask her like, what is this stuff? And she was laughing at me. Like she was laughing so hard because I'm just like, yo, what is this? Like, this is not all of my money. Yeah. Where did my money go? And it was just like, it tickled her, but I really didn't understand. Like, okay, I didn't know almost half my check was going to be gone upon receipt. Like, I didn't sign up for this. But those are things that you should be privy to prior to going out here and working your bones off.
Right? Yes. Absolutely.
To receive something that's kind of shortchanged, in my opinion.
I was just telling my husband, I was talking to my son yesterday when we were my 19-year-old, and I was saying, listen, you quit the gym and that's okay, but you have a bill on the table for the remaining balance. He's like, but I'm not going. And I was like, whoa, hold up. You can't just go, I'm not paying the bill. No, that's accountability. Like, you need to pay the bill. And he was like, oh yeah. Okay. So I'm like, you can't do that. It's your bill. You need to pay it. So he was going to pay it. But I was telling my husband on the way home, I was like, man, I'm grateful that we taught our kids what they do. And they do actually know a lot. They get caught up and they're still really young. But I was like, I remember as soon as we got married, I didn't even know there was a credit check. Like, what is even a credit rating? And I went to the dentist. He had insurance. Jason, my husband, had insurance. So we went to the dentist and they kept sending me a bill for $40. And I was like, I have insurance. I'm not paying this. And I was like, I'm not paying it. And I would throw it away. It came, because it keeps coming, right? And I'm totally irritated every single time. I call them and I was like, listen, I have insurance. And they're like, this is your copay. I seriously had no idea what that
What
was.
is a copay?
Yeah. And even after they told me, I was like, they don't even know what they're doing. I was telling my husband, like, oh, I had no idea. And that was my very first credit ding. I never paid that bill. I didn't know, like, our kids need to know so they can avoid these pitfalls that me, that I'm sure Kendra, that we all fall in because we had no clue about it.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad y'all are opening up these doors as to have these conversations and to like let our kids be more prepared for the things that will come their way. Because it's way different when you know about it. Way different. Like you said, like, who know about a copay? Like, that's not a conversation you have as a teenager. Like, well,
No.
I'm talking about a copay for. I'm not talking. No, you're not standing it. More than likely, when you go to the doctor's office with your mom, you go sit down while she goes up to the counter and check you in. Like, you're not privy to all that other stuff. So that's why I love the questions that my 9-year-old asks now, because she's always, how much is that? So when do you have to pay that? Do you have to pay that now? Like, she's asking, she's definitely asking. So I'm happy about this. I'm always excited about new resources and things that to share with families, because they're needed. Like, they're needed.
Mm-hmm.
They open up those doors for those great conversations and growth for everyone, not necessarily just a child. Like I said, I'm prepared to learn with my children, because there's plenty that I'm still trying to figure out finances. I'm still trying to figure out finances. It's just, it's a lot.
I hate money issues. They're the worst.
Yeah, it's a stressor. It
Mm-hmm.
is. And I feel like the more we know, the less that, we'll have to deal with that. But when I have these conversations with you all, providing these different resources to families, I know that things are changing. Like, we talk about the issue. We talk about, okay, well, I didn't learn that when I was in school. I didn't learn that when I was in school. But now we see, like, people are learning this when they're in school, because it's being created and presented in a fun, exciting way that kids are going to, or young people will want to take it in and receive it, especially with all, like, that goes on now and what's trending and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of trending topics, a lot of trending conversations about financial literacy. So it's very, very important. So I really, really appreciate everything that you all are doing. And please keep going. Please see about, seeing if you can get them into schools, because it is something that everyone deserves. Like, everyone does deserve to know how to manage those dollars. Those lovely dollars.
Yes,
So
exactly.
thank you. So this is gonna be fun, because I need 3 from each one of you. But what is 3 pieces? 3 pieces. What is 3 things that you would share with new homeschooling families?
Go, Kendra.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I would share to not stress. Don't try to make it look like anything else but what goes on in your own home. Don't try to compare what other people do. Don't try to make it look like public school. Just have fun at home teaching your own kids. And it's always going to change. Every year I've done different things with my kids. And so be okay with change every year. And play a lot of games, because games are fun.
Good. And I think we should simplify. I could use those as my 3. But I think that also enjoy your family time, because it goes fast. I'm on the other end of it, and that time really does go fast. And so enjoy your time, simplify, and find joy in the process.
Nice. Thank you for that. And I just thought about this. Do you think your kids will homeschool?
I do. I think my kids will homeschool.
I think mine will too.
Yeah. My girls were talking about it last night. And it's so funny, because we were talking about childbirth, and they're always asking me about, like, them, like when I had them, like the process. And so, like, but we were talking about like, me pushing them out and stuff like that. I always asking about pain. It's like, so does your vagina like it expands so that can happen? Does it go back and all this stuff? And I was like, no worries, because I want to have more kids. So I told them, no worries, you'll see the process done. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you see what happens, and you'll probably be a little scared straight and don't want to have kids ever. And my 6-year-old was just like, well, no, we have to have kids so that we can keep the homeschooling going. The homeschool, what did she call it? Did she say legacy? I want to say the homeschooling legacy or something like that, but it was just like, oh my gosh, don't do
I
this,
love
guys. Y'all
that.
know I'm so sensitive. So I always want to know, like, especially with you being Kendra, you being a second generation, I want to know if it's gonna, keep going. Y'all have 5, so if only 2 did
Well,
it,
I know
then
my daughter will, and I don't know if my husband's, or not my husband, my son's wives will, like if
okay,
they will want
yeah,
to. I hope they will.
yeah.
And they've
Yes,
talked
yes.
about wanting to marry somebody that will want to homeschool. So
Awesome. That's beautiful. That makes me excited. And that's why I said, like, things are changing. Things are really changing, and I'm here for it. And I'm grateful to be able to have these conversations with you, lovely individuals that work and think about how can I help support our future? How can we get this to looking pretty for everyone? So thank y'all, ladies.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much for all
Thank
of
you.
this.
Thank you for
Families,
having
keep
me.
believing. Oh yes, I need Wealthy and Rad website, social medias.
Oh yeah. Wealthyandrad.com is our website. And our social media is on Instagram is wealthy_rad. And our Facebook page, you'll probably just have to do a search for it. Can't recall I think it has an underscore, but if you just look up Wealthy and Rad, you'll find it. There's a community page, there's a business page. So yeah, hop on, learn all about us, and get your kids educated in financial matters.
Yes, yes, yes. Believe it, achieve it. You all can do it. Thank you so much, Mindy and Kendra, for your time today. Thank you for the resources y'all are creating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank y'all for being a voice.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
And families, keep believing in yourself, keep pushing yourself, keep reaching out, keep going and researching these supports, these resources, because it's plenty here, and you do not have to do it alone. Homeschooling is not a long road journey, and I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, if I take my kids home, then it's just gonna be us. No, it's not. You have plenty of support. You have plenty of everything that's really available. Like Kendra spoke, like when her mother was doing it, way less, way less of everything. And so now it's just a plentiful, resourceful homeschool community that's flourishing and continually to grow. So please take a chance on yourself and your family's happiness, and just trust the process and homeschool your kids.